Excellent. Thank you. And thank you guys so much for including me. Gather by Ghostlight is so cool, and I'm so excited to be a part of it.
Oh, listen to that. We're cool. Oh my God. All right, welcome back to Gather by the Ghostlight. I'm Jonathan Cook, your host, producer, and sometimes voice actor on this thing.
And I'm Devon McSherry, the double to his trouble.
Ooh, I like that one. You should keep that. All right.
Yeah.
Joining us today is playwright Erin Moughon. Erin is an award-winning playwright and teacher based out of New York City. Her plays have been produced all over the USA and overseas, and you can even find some of her works in the best 10-minute play anthologies by Smith and Krauss.
Most recently, her play Pre-Written won the 2024 Best Play Award from the Loved Ones series by Broken Arts Entertainment. And today you are going to hear her play called Simon Says.
You are about to meet Joe and Alice, a two-person film crew currently working on a documentary about the origins of children's games.
However, when they arrive at an eccentric young woman's apartment for an interview, things are not all fun and games as they realize Simon Says is not all that it seems.
Now, gather around the Ghostlight, sit back and enjoy. This is Simon Says, written by Erin Moughon.
And be sure to stick around after the story for an interview with the playwright.
Mic check. 1, 2.
This is weird.
What?
I still say she should have come to our office, like the other interviews.
She said she'd be more comfortable here.
Really?
Or implied it.
I can't imagine anyone being comfortable here.
Don't say things like that. She'll hear you.
I'll say it quietly. She could have at least opened the door. That automatic door thing was creepy.
I thought it was cool.
You would think it was cool.
Yeah, it literally made the haunted house creaking sound. It opened so slowly.
I will never understand why you love horror movies.
Because they're awesome. I'll convince you one day.
Absolutely not.
Is that a challenge?
Maybe. Actually, if we leave right now, you could try and maybe I'll...
We're not leaving. Focus on the work and not the rest of it.
Okay. What did she say when you spoke to her?
Well, we didn't exactly speak.
Please tell me you're joking.
Well, no. We emailed.
Emailed? You brought me here on the strength of an email?
It was very well written.
This is the place I'm gonna die. I can feel it.
Don't be so dramatic.
Tell that to the room.
This is important.
What does she have to say that's so important?
Apparently, her family has some history dating back hundreds of years.
With a children's game?
Yes. And this could be the crux of my documentary. Someone who can really help us trace the spreading of these games and chants, the real history of the migration of children's games. It could even probably help me link up a couple of other games with each other.
And you fact-checked her email?
Yes. I mean...
You didn't fact-check her before dragging me to this...
Shh! I did as much as I could. Her family doesn't really have an online presence. Almost like it was scrubbed.
I need to call my mom. Tell her I love her.
Shh! Here she comes. Pull yourself together and finish with the camera.
If I die here, it's your fault.
Fine, whatever. Camera.
I don't mean to interrupt, but I'm ready when you are.
No, not at all. We're the ones imposing on you. Is this setup all right? We just moved a few chairs.
Yeah, it's fine. It's fine. Is she okay?
I'm good.
Do you want water or...
Nope, I'm good. It's all good.
Okay.
Please, have a seat.
Straight to business.
We don't waste any time. Under budget and ahead of schedule.
Excuse me?
Our motto, under budget and ahead of schedule.
And you repeated it.
Just make sure you have the shot.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Have you ever done an interview about your family before?
You don't even know that.
Alice, cool it.
I'm setting up the shot.
No, no. I've never been interviewed before. Ever.
Wow.
Alice. Okay. Biggest thing, don't look at the camera. Look at me. We're just having a conversation.
Okay.
Great. Did you review the questions we're going to go over?
Yes. You were really clear in the email.
See? Email.
Whatever.
And did you see my guidelines? They weren't too strange?
No. I mean, yes, I saw them, but no, they weren't too strange. Not using full names is common. We both want the same thing here.
To say the truth about the game, about its origins.
Exactly.
And we're rolling.
That's the whole reason I agreed to do the interview. It's really important to me.
I know, right? I mean, how do children's games and chants get passed around? Or how did they, rather? Because now, the internet.
Yes.
But it's just so fascinating that all of these things like Red Rover and Ring Around the Rosie and Miss Mary Mac, like no matter where you went as a kid, the other kids knew it. How? And the history. Why were these games, these chants created in the first place? There are some educational aspects with Ring Around the Rosie being about the plague or being thought to be about that. And some jump rope rhymes being racist. Why? That's what we're here to answer. Or rather, what you're here to answer.
Or I hope to.
So do I. Can you start by stating your name for the camera?
Oh, I'm just going with Michelle. So, Michelle.
Please don't look at the camera. But Michelle is your middle name. Your first name is...
Don't say it.
Why not?
It's just... I don't like my first name. I don't want it on camera.
Why do you keep it? Family sentiment?
I can't change it.
Can't.
I've tried. It never works.
Interesting. Is this related to the game?
What?
Your name.
Yes.
Could you state the game you're going to talk about and describe it?
Yeah, sure. I think that's safe.
Safe? I told you this is the place I die.
That better not be in the recording.
I'll edit it out.
I reached out about this interview, really pushed to do this interview because I need to warn people about Simon Says.
And can you describe the game?
One person is designated Simon. They give a list of commands starting by saying Simon Says, or not saying Simon Says. You have to do what Simon says and not do any command without that phrase. If you fail to do what Simon says, or do something Simon didn't say, you're out.
And what is your family connection? Our records show the game going back to ancient Rome with the phrase Kikero dikit fac ok.
Cicero says, do this.
Exactly. You're saying it goes back further?
That's the first warning. It took people a while to realize what was going on.
What do you mean by that?
My family. We've always been... We're Simon.
I've seen a lot of Simons in your family, including...
No, not including. Don't even think it.
Okay. Let's take a beat. I didn't mean to...
I don't think you're taking this seriously.
I didn't mean to make you think that. I'm sorry. Can we continue? So the game goes back before our records.
Yes.
And what is the purpose of the game?
They will tell you is to teach compliance.
They?
It's a warning.
You keep saying that. Warning. Warn. What do you mean?
A lot of historians tell you it was to help with obedience in children. The joys of complying with your parent, boss, government, whatever your Simon is.
That's what our research shows.
It was created to warn people about my family.
Your family didn't create it?
They try to stop it. But once something is out, especially if it's seen as fun...
Why did they try to stop it?
People were realizing who they were.
And what's that?
Simon.
Simon?
Really?
Stop.
Sorry.
Your family is...
There were more. More Simons. The power struggles eliminated many over the centuries.
Power struggles?
A Simon can't tell another Simon what to do. It led to problems. Accidental deaths. A lot of fires. When they get sloppy, assassinations. Or at least attempts. That's what happened with Kennedy.
Simons are responsible for JFK? Really?
There are Simons all over the world. The names vary slightly, just like in the game. But we're all related. I don't know if it's a gene thing or magic.
Magic?
How we're able to do what we do. I think it's genetic at this point. I've never been able to study it or get anyone to study it. The family always stops it.
Why?
They don't want people finding out. It's better that it's just a game. Actually, now that I say it aloud, I think my family did invent a game. To throw people off. To have them dismiss what was happening.
You are going to have to clarify.
I told you, my family is Simon.
Like they say Simon Says and everyone does what they say?
They don't have to say Simon Says.
You say this like you're removed from it.
I removed myself.
But you can't change your name.
No, I can't. Or who my parents are. Or grandparents.
Meaning?
Some Simons have more power than others. The different bloodlines.
That's it.
Alice.
Are you for real, Joe? We're doing scholarly work here, or attempting to, and she's talking about magic and bloodlines like we're in a game of Dungeons and Dragons.
You're out of line.
And you've lost perspective.
We should at least let Michelle finish.
And waste more time in battery.
batteries recharge.
You know what I meant.
And then we'll just delete.
What?
Hmm?
Did you forget I'm here?
No, of course not.
Then you'll just what?
Delete the footage.
But you can't. This is the one place people will take me seriously. They need to know.
Know what? That you're one of the most powerful Simons in the world.
Don't call me Simon.
But you're a Simon, right? That's what you've been dancing around this whole interview. You're a Simon. From the original most powerful bloodline.
Just please, don't call me Simon.
It's your name.
Do you know what you've done?
I know that I've wasted a large part of my day to come to this horror show of an apartment and interview someone who needs to go back on her meds.
No.
Alice, that was out of line. Michelle, I'm so sorry.
You're really going to delete the footage?
Well, this is not what we spoke about.
Emailed about.
You, we were looking for the history and how they go viral.
I'm giving you the history and how it spread.
We're making a documentary. We're interested in, well,
Facts.
yes.
And you don't think that what I told you is true?
Do you think it's true?
I don't think. I know it is.
That's it. Have a nice day, Simon.
Alice, stop. Don't call her Simon. She asked us not to.
It's her name.
I know, but we're trying to respect her wishes.
Stop packing. Stop packing.
Alice, are you okay?
Sit down. Sit down. Both of you.
What is happening?
She called me Simon. And you wanted proof. Put the camera back and turn it back on. Turn it back on.
Joe, I can't stop myself. What's going on?
Sit back down. Sit back down.
Michelle.
You didn't believe me. So I'm having to show you. My family has used our power to manipulate the world to our whims. Ever see an election result and wonder how that happened? As Simon told people how to vote. More protections for the rich? As Simon. Basically, anything selfish is because a Simon wanted something. From the mundane to the extravagant.
So what?
Stop talking. Stop talking. Alice, slap yourself. Slap yourself.
Ow!
Again. Harder. Joe, slap Alice as hard as you can. Alice as hard as you can.
Stop, please, stop!
Oh, now you believe me? That's just the beginning.
What? Don't you have to say Simon Says?
That's the game. This is real life. Joe, tell Alice what you really think of her. Tell Alice what you really think.
That she isn't really that talented, but she's cute, and I like having her around.
You don't think I'm talented?
You struggle with direction sometimes.
Well, you...
Alice, tell Joe you love her. Tell Joe you love her.
I love you, Joe.
You can only say I love you, Joe. You can only say I love you, Joe.
I love you, Joe.
Michelle.
Simon.
Simon, you've made your point.
I love you, Joe.
This is just cruel now.
Cut yourself with that box cutter. Cut yourself. Oh. That's messier than I thought it would be. I'll be back.
I love you, Joe.
Can't let you stain the floor.
I love you, Joe. We have to get out of here.
I love you, Joe.
Come on, to the door, now.
I love you, Joe.
What? Leaving so soon?
We just...
Your idea?
We'll put you in the documentary. We'll do anything you say.
You don't really have a choice.
I love you, Joe. I love you, Joe.
Simon
I love you, Joe.
didn't say.
I love you, Joe.
Oh my God, Alice!
She can't hear you now. Not with her head splattered all over the walls.
Why did you do that?
She broke the rule. Sit down. Sit down. We're going to finish this, and then I will be featured in your documentary.
Yes.
Or you know what? I've never done this before. Now I see what they've been saying. It feels good. It always looked so bad when they were doing it. But with me, it's really... I can't describe it. Delete the footage. Sit back down and don't move.
Why?
I have to pack a few things before calling the police.
What?
You killed your camera person.
I didn't...
Say it.
I killed Alice.
Good. I never realized. You know, I always try to be good. Use, or rather not use, my gift. But I'm tired of that. I'm tired of hiding. Thank you, Joe. Thank you for that. Though, I wish it hadn't been you. I actually like you. But some sacrifices must be made.
But how will... I didn't...
Didn't what?
I killed Alice. I know I killed Alice.
Exactly. Just keep saying that until you confess to the police and a bunch of witnesses. This is going to be so much fun.
I killed Alice.
Don't cry too much. I'll make sure you don't get the death penalty. It's the least I can do.
I killed Alice. I killed Alice.
That was Simon Says, written by Erin Moughon. It was performed by Korilyn Hendricks as Joe, Kayla Gardner as Alice, and Arelis Rivera as Michelle. All right, so with us now is the writer of the story you just heard. She's a playwright and an educator based out of New York City. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Erin Moughon. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me. Woo!
All right, so you've written a lot of plays over the years. You've had a lot of activity with different theaters. You even got some stuff going on now. So tell us, or give us the synopsis of your origin story on how you got your playwright superpowers.
So my playwright superpowers came from, I went to college and I was like, I'm going to be a creative writer. I'm going to be a poet. I'm going to be a short story writer, and I'm going to act. And that's what I'm going to do. And I got into my first creative writing class and I wrote my first short story, and the professor was like, this is bad. I was like, okay. He's like, but your dialogue is amazing. Have you considered writing plays? And I was like, huh. And so then I wrote my first play, and we were assigned partners in the class. And so my partner read it and wrote a 2-page single-spaced thing about how it was the worst play he'd ever read. And I was like, okay, I have to go to class tomorrow.
Harsh.
And so I went to class and I was ready to be read for filth. And the professor goes, I just have to say, this is the best first play I've ever read. And everyone else in the class was like, this is amazing. We love it. And I was like, I should be a playwright. And
Critics. Everyone is so subjective. Everyone has their own different opinions, but that's so awesome.
Good. Don't listen to the haters.
No haters. Yeah. Oh, so from there, I just started writing and submitting, and people liked it, and I was like, oh, this is cool, this is fun, I like it, um, and so I just kept writing, and I came to realize over the years it was like a little bit of a catharsis for me as well because I always felt in my life I was out of control and didn't have control, and so a lot of my characters are out of control, as in Simon Says. Don't have control over their own lives. And I was like, oh, this is a way I can explore it in a safe and fun and weird way. And just kept going.
That's so
Awesome.
cool. So you're a teacher. Do you teach anything in the arts, or are you more into science or math?
I spent the first 10 years of my teaching career doing both math and theater. And then I did science for a little while as well. I can teach you hydroponics.
Oh man.
I'm like, yes, and I only had 2 kids ask me about growing weeds, so that's great.
It depends on what state you're in.
Yeah, it's depending. Yeah. But now for the past 6 years, I've done exclusively theater with 6th through 12th graders, which is amazing and as hormonally charged as you would think it is.
Ooh,
Wow.
awesome.
Have you ever had your students perform something that you wrote, or is it kind of those things? I don't think they're ready for my style yet. Or
I have written stuff for them and I've done a lot of devising with them. The first year after COVID, I was like, I don't know if we're going to get canceled because like schools kept opening and shutting and opening and shutting. So I was like, I'm going to write something for y'all. And that way, if we have to change the dates, I don't have to call a copyright person.
Smart. Yeah.
So they were like, we want this kind of story and we want these kind of characters. And I was like, cool. So I wrote it for them. And it was really fun to have them do it. But for the most part, I want to hear their voices. So they write a lot of the stuff we do, or we do some more mainstream stuff. Like we're working on Beetlejuice right now, which they're super excited for.
Nice. I was going to say, I bet they're way more invested into those characters that either they, helped you create or they create themselves. So
Yeah, they really are. And they really get into it and have fun with it. And they'll tell me they're great because they'll be like, Miss M, yeah, I don't think my character would say this line of dialogue this way. Can I say it this way? And I'm like, yes, you can.
yeah.
that's what collaboration's all about.
Yeah.
Yeah. And asking the playwright permission before you make changes.
That's that too.
All right, so everyone just heard your play called Simon Says. So let's talk about that. So this was actually a play that you had submitted to our Stage Frights event, and it made it to the semifinalist round. And while it didn't get selected for the event, it was a script that we both loved.
Yeah.
The story is so great, and we loved your style of writing. And we just thought, why not just throw this one into our regular season? Because it's such an engaging story. So how did this one come about for you when you, what planted the seed of the idea in your brain for this one?
Yeah. And thank you. It was such an exciting email to be like, oh, you want to do it? That's so awesome. Yay. So what started, I grew up a military brat. My dad was in the Army, so we moved every couple years. And it always fascinated me that no matter where we lived, there were certain touch points where everyone knew the same thing. And some of it was because of TV, like, oh, we watch the same shows because we've like cable is all across the country. But there were a lot of like games like hand clap games and other games that kids play. Like everyone knows Red Rover, everyone knows these other games. And I was like, how did that happen? How did that spread go? And part of it was like, oh, people moving and like kids talking to other kids. Part of me was like, well, what if it was like a little darker? If there was something behind all of these kid games. And I knew the like the Ring Around the Rosie was like teaching you about the Black Plague. And I knew there were some games that were like that you told kids so they could learn about harder subjects. And I was like, how can I combine these two things into something weird and dark?
Yeah. If you've listened to our podcast, we like the weird and dark stuff. So
Yes.
It kind of reminds
like
it kind of reminds me of what you were saying, how some of the origins were kind of tame. It reminds me of the Grimm fairy tales, where if you actually read the origins of some of these fairy tales, they're much darker than what is portrayed in like Disney and stuff. It was such a fresh take on the game Simon Says, and the mythos you created around it of these this bloodline, these people, individuals. I don't even know if they're human. that refer to themselves as Simon, and even in like Michelle, she has like just in one paragraph, just brief paragraph, she creates this rich history talking about the bloodlines and how Simons cannot command each other. And in just few words, you created such a rich history, and you said so much without her having to say a lot. And I thought that was just very tactful and clever as a writer, because saying a lot with less words is always more beneficial than a lot of exposition and explaining every little thing. So did you have any other ideas about the game and the rules of it that maybe got omitted for the final version of how this was created?
Not really. I did have some people be like, "Oh, make it longer," and I'm like, "No, no, it is good. It is short." I don't think there were any rules. I think I did add some after I had some friends read it, and they were like a little confused. So like the section you're asking about it, I cleaned that part up a little bit. But I think for the most part, it's the mythos and the world is how I originally envisioned it. So
I like how you leave the ending kind of open to see, like, you don't answer any questions about like where it goes from there. You're just like, okay, there's the chaos. Have fun with that.
I enjoy. My students don't like it when I do that for stuff for them.
Do they like happy endings?
No, they specifically ask for less happy endings. They enjoy the not happy endings, but they like things clearer. So, because I also work a lot with students with autism, and they like things like they're good for the dark, but they're like, but I want to know what actually happened. I'm like, but your imagination. And they're like, no, just tell me what happened.
Gotcha.
One of my other favorite parts is, first off, this character Michelle. She has the most engaging story arc throughout, because in the beginning she's very timid. She wants to get the word out, and then you see her kind of get consumed by this power, and she's loving it. But one of the things that I really loved is the fact that when she's trying to explain how it happened, she doesn't even know how this power works. She's like, I don't know if it's magic. I don't know if it's supernatural. I just know that it works. And I just love that detail so much that even the people that can do this, even they don't know where it comes from or how they do it or how it works, but it works. Did you have any ideas on? Did you have any like original ideas that didn't make it into the script of how they got this power? Anything that you might have been intending to use but didn't?
I had lots of thoughts on it, and I liked the open-ended, and like you said, I liked like her not knowing how it worked, but it just does. I really enjoy things like that. I had thoughts of definitely of like magic. They discovered a thing, and this thing gave them power, and then it was passed down. I had thoughts of like aliens or something supernatural or something genetic. I thought about I looked into genetics a little longer than I should have. Like, this is how genes present themselves and dominant and recessive traits. And then I was like, you know what? Getting bogged down in the science of it takes away a little from the magic. And so I went away from that. But originally I think it was like, oh, this is how genes work and how they present themselves, and like going along like the mutation route a little bit. And then I was like, you know what? That's not as fun.
Yeah. And just that one line of a Simon can't command another Simon, just that one sentence, you can already picture how this went over the years, and everyone, all these different, Simon characters, their power struggle that existed probably. And do you have, in your writer's brain, do you have an idea of how many Simons are out there in the world in this universe?
A lot. As Michelle points out, some have a stronger bloodline than others have a stronger command. So I feel like that annoying person who you're like, how did they get to be manager of this place or get this much power? Like minor power, if I feel like is a Simon, and then the people who are like really like the higher ups, not necessarily like your presidents or your like prime ministers or things, but like the person one step back is like like the puppet master.
Gotcha.
So like different levels of power within the Simons, and I feel like kind of in every sphere there is one in this world.
Awesome. And has this script been performed anywhere else, or
a college did a production for their directing class.
Awesome.
So within the like educational sphere, but never a professional.
Gotcha.
And I had a reading so I could hear it and get feedback. But yes, you are the first professional production. Yay!
Very cool. Did you get any feedback on the educational setting when they?
I got a little bit. They mostly just had fun with it and were enjoying it. The director and I had some talks about it beforehand, and it was fun to see his take. And I didn't actually get to see it, but like see what he told me his take was.
Gotcha.
Very
Yeah.
cool. You got some stuff going on right now. You have a play called "Escape the Pina Colada Song," which
Yes.
as we were recording this is February 22nd, so that goes up tonight.
Yes.
Okay.
Exciting.
And it's sold out, which is awesome. But
Yeah.
they're doing a cool thing where they're setting up a live stream where if you didn't get a ticket in time, you could still see a live stream of the event. So I know by the time this releases that this will be over, but what is tell us about this play.
So this play, two characters who were intentionally written, they're called 1 and 2 because I'm like, I want anyone to be able to play them. I've done that once before with a piece, and it was really fun to be like, how can I write plays that anyone can be in? So 1 is come to with the intention to break up with 2, using the lyrics of a Meatloaf song. That goes over well. And 2 is like, wait, hold a sec. Are you dumping me? Are you dumping me with a soft rock ballad? And 1 goes, maybe. And 2 goes, finally, I've been trying to get you to break up with me for weeks.
Oh, surprise.
And 1 goes to say what? And it's like, yeah, I thought you might be my pina colada, but you're not. And 2, it turns out, is trying to base their love life around the song Escape, parentheses, the pina colada song, which is about a guy gets the literal first line of the song, I was tired of my lady. So he goes and looks in the personal ads to find someone else. And it turns out that his lady has put out a personal ad to cheat on him.
Yeah.
So chaos ensues. But it's fun, and it's what happens when you base your life on a weird song.
Yeah. Yeah.
Is it just a one-off performance? Because this is at Chain Theater in New York, part of the
Yes.
Chain Winter Theater Festival. Is it
Yes.
just a one-off performance, or are they doing it any more after tonight?
This is actually the third performance, third and final.
Okay.
But hopefully it'll have a life beyond it. And tonight, it's, as you said, it's getting live streamed, so people can go and watch on their own time. It's nice.
Oh, so after the live stream, are they going to keep the digital version up for people to check out?
It's going to be up until Tuesday. They keep it up for 72 hours.
Okay.
I don't quite know why. I feel like I should. I think it has to do with intellectual property things. But it's exciting. I hope it has a life beyond this. As I hope Simon Says continues to have a life. I'm super excited to hear it.
Absolutely. So have you been able to attend each performance?
Yes, so far. Unfortunately, I don't think I'll be able to get in tonight because with it being sold out, I get in. The writers and directors get in for free if it's not sold out. And so I was like, oh, I'll just get in for free. And I was like, oh, it's sold out. So I'll stand outside the door and listen and applaud that.
Reaction.
Nice. Do you have any other upcoming plays or anything going on that you want to promote while you're here?
Cool. I have a play in the Paragon Theater Festival.
Oh, yeah.
In Chicago, which I'm super pumped about. And then I'm part of the Women's Short Work Playwriting Lab for New Perspective Theaters. And we're 6 women, and we're creating 6 new plays around the theme of artificial intelligence, which I was like, yes.
Oh, yeah.
I can go weird with that. And those plays are going to premiere in New York City in August. So
cool. So it sounds like you'll definitely get to see those. As far as Paragon Festival, you planning on taking the trip to Chicago? I kind of love that festival because it's a science fiction and fantasy festival.
Yes.
I've had plays that I've never gone to attend them, but they've selected my plays for that before, and it sounds like such a cool event. I wish I could have gone to see my works produced there. But do you have any plans to check out what they're doing for you?
Unfortunately, I can't go. It sounds super cool, and I know other people who have plays in the festival too, who I really love and respect as writers. And I'm like, oh, this sounds amazing. Unfortunately, I don't think I can, because they shifted the dates, and it was over a break I had, and now they, due to scheduling things, it's no longer over that break. So I was like, oh man. But I have friends in Chicago who hopefully will see it and let me know how it goes.
Yeah. And when does that go up again?
That they shifted it. It is, I think, April 17th is the first day of the festival.
Okay,
check out the website.
Yeah. So if you're listening and you're in the Chicago area, go check out the Paragon Theater Festival. Is it I know it's at Otherworld Theater. I think it's just called the Paragon Festival or something like that. But a great event. They do science fiction and fantasy plays. And what about the New York performance? When's that
August?
going up?
It's August. Yes. Hold on. Let me pull up the dates. It's I don't know the exact dates for mine, but the festival runs August 1st to August 9th. So
very cool. Very cool. And you're an active member on the New Play Exchange from what I've seen. You got your plays on there that people can go check out. Are you an active reader? Do you read a lot of other people's works while you're on there?
I try. I'm trying to be better. And especially if I go see somebody's play, if I know they've put it up on New Play Exchange, I will go and do. But the kids take a lot of brain energy. So I'm like, when I come home, I'm like, I'm going to do.
Absolutely.
Fair.
Is there any works that you've read or any emerging playwrights that are on New Play Exchange or established playwrights that inspire you or that you could recommend for people to go check out?
I mean, I can recommend you for them to go check out. You are also on.
I am.
Allie Cantor is someone whose work I really like. She and I have a similar style, and she thinks of really, really cool stuff that I just enjoy reading. I'm like, I feel like I could just list everyone I know. Vince Gatton has some really cool stuff, especially if you're into sci-fi things. Gillian Blevins has some cool things. I'm like, name drop. Maximilian Gill has some pretty cool stuff on there. That's like different than, these are all people who are like, oh, you write different than I do, but this is so cool. And I feel like I should have a list because honestly, there's so many good plays on New Play Exchange.
Yeah, I'm always on there just checking stuff out. So.
Yeah, it's such a cool site. Yay! Thanks to the founders of New Play Exchange.
Yeah,
that's right. So where can people find you? Do you have a website other than New Play Exchange, or are you active on social media?
Yeah, I'm really active on Instagram and Facebook. That's how old I am. Facebook old.
Me too.
yeah. And I technically have a website, but I have not updated it in a really long time. So yeah, New Play Exchange and Instagram are your best bets for active with me. And I'm pretty responsive when people reach out on those or through email. I'm like, yay.
Awesome.
All right. Well, thank you. Thank you so much for coming on with us and talking to us about Simon Says. I really hope that your event tonight goes awesomely.
Congratulations. And on all of your other festivals coming up. That's wonderful.
Excellent. Thank you. And thank you guys so much for including me. Gather by Ghostlight is so cool, and I'm so excited to be a part of it.
Oh, listen to that. We're cool. Oh, my God. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
All right. Time for our credits roll. Roll the dice. Do it. Do
right,
your
here we
thing.
Ooh, a 9.
What's 9?
British.
British. Okay.
All right.
Are you ready for this? All right. This has been a Gather by the Ghostlight production produced by Jonathan Cook
and Devon McSherry. Today's play, Simon Says, was written by Erin Moughon.
I thought you said British. What are you doing?
It's Cockney. That's British.
All right. It was performed by Korilyn Hendricks, Kayla Gardner, and Arelis Rivera.
Directed by Jonathan Cook, with sound design by Jonathan Cook.
God, it must be the dog's bollocks doing all that stuff. All right. Title music by JK47.
Additional music by DaniHaDani. Oh, no. DaniHaDani and Josh Tarp.
This program is supported in part by the South Carolina Arts Commission, which receives support from the National Endowment for the Arts.
As always, stay safe.
And we'll see you next time we gather by the Ghostlight.
Double trouble out. That sounded Australian.
There's a ghost in the radio that keeps it on repeat. There's a demon in the bottle trying to drag me to my knees, and I can't afford to fall apart every time we meet. Oh, there's a ghost after me.
I mean, it literally just played the whole thing like a minute ago.